Hello, this is Maggie. I just have to talk about all the squares going on between Pluto, Saturn, and Mars. I know I've been talking about them a lot, both, the government, collective level, and the individual level, but they are going on. I mean, they're totally on with Aries. If you're Aries or Aries ascendant or Capricorn, um, or no matter what sign you are, I mean, it's a 90-degree angle, and Pluto squaring your sun or Pluto squaring your ascendant could be power struggles, or it could just be exerting your authority. You could maybe become your own authority. That would be a really good use of it, rather than have power struggles with your boss, or if you are having power struggles, perhaps you're in a march or you're speaking up somehow in front of a group, because, Venus is conjunct Mercury in Aries, which is wonderful. So that would really help you to articulate your views powerfully, but yet Venus would help to tone down the Pluto, the square to Pluto. Venus square Pluto and Mercury retrograde square Pluto. And they're all square Saturn too. And the Sun is square Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn. And Mars just joined the team, and it's square Uranus, which is 27 degrees Aries as of today. I'm looking at today's chart of the day, chart of the moment, from Astrodienst. So Aries house is loaded. So if you have Moon in Aries, Ascendant Aries, Sun in Aries, anything in Aries, pretty much most of the planets are in Aries right now, with the exception today the Moon is in Gemini, which really helps communication because Mercury's retrograde in Aries, so that makes communication more direct. And that is Gemini's ruler, so the focus is definitely on communication. With Venus there, it will help it to be, a little more pleasant. Or you could just express beauty or express your, unique self. Jupiter is retrograde in Scorpio, so it's good that we have some water going on still. I already did the ephemeris for April, but these squares are just so in our face, and they're going to be there all month. Mercury will be retrograde all month. So it's just very challenging energy, and it's squaring. Aries would be the individual or yourself or your personality. It's squaring Pluto and Saturn, the ruler. Well, Pluto, authoritarian. I think of Capricorn as authoritarian, or the boss, or the collective, or the government, or structure. Actually, Saturn is structures. So Pluto is tearing down structures. And if you're Capricorn, those are the two main events going on right now. If you're Capricorn or Aries, everything is squaring each other. So it could be like your individuality versus your career, changing your career, what to do for a career, your whole work, has changed, or you just want to totally transform and do something totally different than anything you've ever done. So the square can be challenging, and especially the square to Uranus. Because Uranus just wants liberation, it wants to be free, it wants to be unique, different, and you know, as strange as it wants to be, you know, it definitely wants all those things, and it wants to be liberated. So the Aries individual wants to be liberated, I would think, from a corporation or, you know, working for somebody else. You know, they may want to be self-employed, and it may take some sort of maybe getting fired or some kind of transformation in Capricorn to free them up. And it's a lot of times it's in a sudden, unexpected way, and it's not always pleasant. Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, is in Capricorn, so that's very good for Capricorns. But it is square to everything in Aries. You know, I could go planet by planet, but I mean, if you look at the red lines, you know, so basically it's I'm seeing power struggles, and there are a lot of power struggles going on. It's very helpful to have Venus in Aries, and Mercury as well. Even though it's retrograde, still there are issues that everyone is going over and rehashing, and, you know, confronting, you know, maybe parental authorities or maybe your boss, and trying to learn how to do it in a more pleasant way. So Venus would help you with that. Venus conjunct Mercury, Venus, you know, in Aries would tone it down just a little bit, because, you know, Pluto square Mercury and Pluto square the Sun and Pluto square your ascendant can be very, you just don't want to go off on your boss, you know. You want to articulate your views clearly, and yeah, like say the March on Washington, that's totally what I see in this, you know, it's going on. So the individuals are, you know, collectively going to articulate their views in a very intelligent, yet forceful, powerful way to the powers in authority, you know, in Washington. So, and so Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, so it may or may not want to tear down structures, you know. Saturn likes structure, and it likes probably, I don't know, in this case I'm talking in a general way, but it might like bureaucracy, you know. It might like things just the way they are, but Pluto in Capricorn is going to change them whether you like it or not. And these squares could cause, definitely could cause conflict, perhaps violence, you know. I mean, Venus will help with that. I'm not, you know, I really hope it doesn't come to that, but Mars conjunct Saturn in Capricorn is, you know, two malefics basically. Even though Saturn's the ruler of Capricorn, what I'm seeing is it just wants to stay with the status quo, and there's this enormous power struggle going on between the individual asserting their rights, that would be Uranus, asserting their individual rights and communicating about it and showing up, and so Venus would be on their side for that. But Pluto and Mars, you know, are kind of like malefics in this case. I mean, Pluto is authority, power struggles with authority, and that's absolutely what this is all about. That is what it is. So however it shows in your chart,